either. Now son training the father. I'd probably be helping. Too. Pita is actually learning a lot. He's been learning a lot in the last year or two. He's handled corners on his own now. He's traveled on his own with fighters. He's the one in charge of the camp there with the younger fighters. So I think Pita's going to be a very good trainer. Once Robert starts to give him a little more freedom and kind of lets him take over, I think Pita's going to be very good.
Mikey, I talked to Brandon, and I talked to you about this earlier about your kids fighting. He said he wouldn't let his kids fight. Well, I know you have a little different stance. What's your stance on letting kids fight? Your kids fight?
I don't have a problem. I would try to kind of guide them and keep them away from boxing, but if they want to do it, they're definitely going to try it and learn it. That's for sure. Whether I let them continue as a career in professional boxing, a little different. If I see some talent and some skills, maybe a little bit, I'll let it. But if I really don't see a whole lot, then I don't want them to get hurt either. So I'll advise them to do something else or maybe stay in boxing, but maybe training or as a manager or something else.
So not everybody's cut to be a fighter. I mean, when do you know if you really are meant to do it or not?
You as a trainer, you know who has certain qualities that can, some speed, footwork, discipline, power, stamina, certain things that just fundamentals. But then you don't always have all of them. Sometimes you got 2 or 3 of them, and that's enough to maybe have a good career. Not everybody's a great, well-rounded boxer and all the different skills or power or whatever. But if I don't see much in my kids, I'm not gonna have them there boxing. I mean, I'm just not gonna allow it. I don't want them to get hurt. And that's the same thing, not just for my kids, but my brother treats every fighter the same way. Fighters always want to come and they always tell my brother or Pita that they're the next big thing, that they believe in themselves, that they could learn, they could do this. They rather see them training, and my brother sees that they just don't have enough to really take on a career. My brother let them know, what, I just don't see it. And as a trainer, he's not gonna put them out in danger. Go ahead and try it for training, for amateur a little bit maybe, but not for a professional career. He's done that all the time. There's fighters who you just don't have it, and they believe that just because they're at my brother's gym that they're gonna learn and become champions. I mean, there's a lot of fighters who are at the gym who don't become champions, and even if you got great skills, sometimes you still don't become champions. So it's very hard to give a fighter that exact yes and no. Some have it and some don't make it. Some don't have everything, but they make it. It's hard to distinguish that. But as a trainer or as a father, if I just don't see enough, I'm definitely gonna tell my kids not to be involved. Other fighters, my brother has told not to, and they'll go on to another trainer. Well, that's on the trainer's hands now. It's not my brother at that point anymore.
Would you ever become a boxing ref?
Yeah, maybe.
I can see you doing that, Mikey.
I hadn't thought of that, but maybe. I may do that. Now that you mention it, I may do that.
And take the job away from Jack Reese and Tony Reese.
Jack's cool.
Jack Reese is good, man.
He's a good ref. Jack is cool.
By the way, Chocolatito said he will give Cuadras a rematch. Did you watch the first one?
I watched it.
What did you think?
Good fight. I think Cuadras deserves a rematch. Chocolatito had a tough fight with Cuadras, and he won, but I think it was a little tougher than people expected. So why not do a rematch? People liked it. You should get a rematch.
For some reason, HBO don't like it.
HBO might have other plans or other agenda that they want to guide Chocolatito. They're almost, sometimes the networks act like promoters. A lot of times they approve of certain fights, but they don't approve of others. And it's hard. That's the business side of boxing. But as a fighter, I'm sure Chocolatito has no problem as a fighter, you fight everybody, you fight anybody. But the networks or the managers or promoters are the ones that get involved with the business side, and sometimes they prevent certain fights from happening.
Let me ask you this. You've done broadcasting ringside with BN Sports. What's the difference for Mikey Garcia watching a fight from the stands like today than ringside a foot away from where the sweat and the blood flies on your face?
When I'm over here, just as a fan, I'm watching it, but you're cheering, you're just kind of like enjoying it. When I'm on broadcast on the microphone, I'm like, it's different. It seems like it really is work. You got to be focused on everything. You got to be paying attention to every single detail, and then they have me as like the boxing expert. So as the analyst, so I have to be watching and trying to give my take on why certain fighter is doing what and what the other fighter should be doing and what's gonna happen and when I see certain things. So I gotta be like on it the whole time, and it's hard. It's hard to even score a round sometimes when it's a close round. You really can't find who to give it to, and it's not that easy. Fans think it's so easy to just be there talking about boxing and score a round. When it's clearly someone winning the round, yeah, it's not a big deal. But when it's a close round, it's not that easy.
Mikey, you talked about fighting for the WBC lightweight title in December. You've held the WBO title at 126 and 130. You've mentioned that you want to fight for the WBO title at lightweight. Why the WBO over the WBC?
Because I held the BO at featherweight and super featherweight, I preferred and I wanted to get the WBO at 135. Reason why we kind of are going towards another route, because WBO held by Flanagan, Frank Warren in Europe, and handling Flanagan may be a little bit more of a challenge to get, because he was already scheduled to fight Verdejo for mandatory title defense. So we had to go a different route or wait in line. And Showtime, along with DeBella and Heyman, put together my last fight. And after the fight, they asked me if there's something else that I wanted. I told them I want a title fight. So he initially wanted to get the BO, but because of the Verdejo Flanagan mandatory fight, they offered maybe we can get the WBC title shot. They handled that fighter already, and I said sure, I'll take it. I mean, one title versus another, it's still a championship fight, still a world title. I wanted the BO. Like I said, I held them previously, and I need one WBO title so I can get a ring that WBO hands
Exactly,
out.
yeah.
And that's why I really wanted it. What's up, guys? Yeah, come on.
Where are you guys from?
Where are you guys from? Here?
Yeah.
Woodland Hills?
Yeah. Hey, Ellie, I watch you a lot too.
Thank you, I appreciate it. You guys like Mikey?
Yeah, you guys got fans, Ellie. Don't be shy, come on.
That guy's taller than you, Mikey.
He is, how old are you? Like 12, huh?
13.
13?
Oh, wow, you know ages. There was some kids from Riverside in Vegas last week.
6'2", watch.
Would you like to go after the Ring Magazine lightweight championship of the world, Jorge Linares? That's a fight that I think we would all love to see.
What I've read and understood, Linares had the WBC, was considered champion in recent based on injuries. So Dejan picked it up. But Linares, or the winner of Crowley Linares, was supposed to be fighting Dejan to reclaim that BC title. However, they got that rematch clause, so Linares has to fight Crolla first, which kind of gives me an opportunity to fight for the BC title. If I would pick up the BC title, theoretically, Linares, Crolla winner, rematch winner, would have to be fighting me by WBC regulations. Because it's a business and politics and managers get involved and networks get involved, sometimes it doesn't happen that way. He may choose to vacate the BC and just keep the Ring Magazine and the BA title. A lot of titles, hard to keep track sometimes.
Yeah.
But in theory, we should be fighting each other. And I would definitely love that fight. I think it's a tremendous fight for the fans, tremendous fight for both of us. It would set us apart from the rest and then bring us to that next level. and because he's holding the Ring Magazine title, that's another reason why I would really want that.
And that lightweight division is open.
It's a great division, man. You got great champions, great fighters, great fights. Linares came back very, very strong. He's definitely, one of the best. So why not, take that fight and prove, who really is the best.
Dejan is a tough fight in itself.
It is.
Is it hard to kind of? He doesn't have the name recognition.
He doesn't have the name recognition because he's a newly crowned champion. He's from Montenegro. Not so known here in the States, but from what I've seen and from what I've read, his record speaks for itself. Great power, undefeated, world champion. He's a tough guy. You can't overlook him. Because Linares has had more titles, different divisions, 3 divisions, a little more well known. He gets a little more recognition. But Dejan ain't an easy fight. I think even Dejan Linares would be a great fight. I think that would be a great fight. Dejan Crolla would be a tremendous fight. All these guys can make for great fights. So that's why I think the lightweight division is very, very good division for me right now. And if I can get that fight and maybe get some of these other matches made, it'll be a great turnaround in my career for where I'm at right now.
Do you feel you're going to settle into the 135-pound division properly and correctly?
I want the lightweight division. I want a title division at that division, the lightweight division, but then I want to make sure that I'm solidified there and established there. And so a few fights at the lightweight division, but I'm also not counting out the possibility of maybe moving up in weight to fight for another title, maybe hold 2 titles in 2 divisions at the same time, and
let's go Henry
come back and
Armstrong.
down. He held 3 titles, only man to hold 3 divisions simultaneously, defending the titles, and that's back when it was lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, type of thing. Featherweight, lightweight, welterweight. That's
a huge gap.
That's a huge gap. So, if I can do something, like that, why not? I was gone for 2.5 years. So I ain't got time to be wasting, picking on just, comeback fights, and return fights, and again, and 2-0 fight. No, we won, championship fight after championship fight, champion after champion. We gotta, regain that momentum and reestablish ourselves.
And how great does it feel when you see these young kids coming up to you asking for photos, and knowing who you are and just looking up to you, just
It
excited?
feels real nice. It feels real nice that you get that love and respect and admiration from the kids. Kids may not be as informed as other fans or reporters, but for them to even recognize me or at least know that I'm a fighter or a champion, and they want to take a picture. It's a lot. It speaks a lot.
5 pounds north of your division, like we were just saying, you want to kind of get titles in multiple weight classes. Is Terrence Crawford, man? Obviously, he was with your former promotion company. If you were to win against say Linares and have the Ring Magazine belt, would that be the next fight you would eye, and would that be an issue?
He's the man at 140. So if I move up to 140 and he's still there, then that's the fight that we would want. You always want the best in that division to be able to consider the best. You got to beat the best at that division. He is the man right now at 140. If by the time I'm at 140, if he's still there, then yes, I would want that. But just as you mentioned, he is with Top Rank. It may be a little difficult to arrange that for that fight, but that would definitely be the one that we would want. There is other titles there that you might be able to pick up, but maybe you pick up a title, but leads up to a potential fight with him. That's what I would want. From what I've heard and from what I see with Top Rank, I think they have a different agenda. I think he's going to be moving up very soon to 147 from what I heard. Pacquiao, see, everything, they map everything out ahead of time. Top Rank is very good at developing fighters and planning things like chess. Pacquiao fighting right now, Vargas. So, man, if everything goes well, I think this is what's going to happen. Pacquiao wins the title but vacates WBO 147. Crawford moves up from 140, 147, picks up the title at 147. They were planning on Verdejo to pick up the WBO title off of Flanagan at 135, letting him move up to 140 and picking up the BO that eventually Crawford would leave, leaving the WBC, leaving the WBO lightweight title vacant, ready for Lomachenko to move up from 130 to 135, leaving the 130 to Valdez, who just won the WBO 126 title. So it's like a little ladder, and they're all working for the WBO title right now, which is perfect for Top Rank right now, because Valdez will possibly move up to 130, pick it up after Lomachenko picks it up after Verdejo picks it up after Crawford, and Crawford after that's the way I see it. So that's why they wanted Verdejo to fight Flanagan, so he could have already that BO title. Sometimes because of that, you're not able to get the fights that you want, because they got their own agendas and their own, plan for their fighters. So maybe by the time I move up to 140, Crawford's already at 47, picking up the WBO vacant title. I mean, he's already picked it up, vacant titles from at 135, 140, and kind of right now maybe Pacquiao gets away and he picks it up at 147, makes him a 3-division title holder. So it's politics and business and good matchmaking and good promoting.
How frustrating is that aspect of it?
A little bit, because it keeps you from getting certain fights. But I mean, there's other titles. That's why there's other titles that are maybe a little more accessible sometimes and allows you to have more opportunities. A lot of people complain about so many titles and they wish there was only one title. But I don't remember. My dad remembers that at that time when there was only one champion, there was a lot of fighters who never got the opportunities. The champion either ducked them or was just fighting other guys and never giving that opportunity to the ones that deserve it. So that's why they made other titles, so it could be a little more fair for everybody to have a chance. I mean, it's boxing. That's the way it is, and sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, it's great for the fighter, who's holding 2 or 3 divisions, even if they're all vacant titles. But he's claiming titles, because they're well matched, and the other opponent vacates the title in time for you to pick it up and stuff like that. So it works out for some guys. It doesn't work out maybe for opposing fighters from different promoters or different networks that would love to have a certain fight with him. It doesn't happen.
Mikey,
you've had a lot of time to think about how you're going to plan the remainder of your career. So how many fights do you think you're going to take, or how long is it going to be comfortable for you? I know you probably have a number of either years, number of fights. How long do you plan on fighting before you hang it up?
I originally had thought I would be retiring at around age 30. Okay? I'll be 29 this December. Because I was gone for 2.5 years, that's no longer gonna happen, and I don't plan on that. Had I been fighting all this time, I'd probably be thinking about retiring right now, or close to it. But now I plan on fighting a little longer, and maybe a few years, maybe 32, 33, however many fights you're able to accumulate in that time. But then, from what I'm learning, from what I'm seeing, even if I'm there at that age, 32, 33, and I've already accomplished a great deal in boxing and I'm ready to retire, but then business kicks in, and if there's fights that are worth $10, $15 million fights, then I'd be stupid to fucking walk away. I'm getting that fight, and I'll make sure I'm going to do everything to win it. But even if you lose, you're taking that paycheck. I mean, that's when the business kicks in. If you work your entire life to get here, and if you're working at any job, and you've worked your 20 years of your life from 15 years old, 15 years later, you're at the top of the level, and they're about to offer you a promotion, and you're just gonna walk away. I mean, it's kind of like dumb to do that. You better take it and get all the full benefits that comes with it, and then retire. It's something similar to that. Hey, darling.
Hey, Mikey, because I can pick really quick.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Exactly, I'll take it.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike. I'm Charles.
What's up, man?
Good to see you, brother.
Good, man.
When are you fighting?
I seen him last some years ago when you had all that.
My mouth wired shut.
He was super ripped, nothing but juice, right?
Yeah.
Nothing but juices at that time.
He's a good dude, man. He works hard. I see him in the gym, so